I'm Kumuduni Samuel from the Women and Media Collective. I'm co-founder of the Women and Media Collective, which started in 1984, and I'm currently working as the Director of Programs and Research. We find that oftentimes unmet contraception need or contraception failure has resulted in women wanting abortions, and in that context we have always been at a disadvantage because the laws in the country don't allow for abortion unless it's a danger to the pregnancy is a danger to the mother's life, or if there are fetal abnormalities, and it doesn't really address the issue of women's need to terminate pregnancies in case they do not want that pregnancy, or the pregnancy is unexpected, not planned for, etc. And we find that the law as it stands is extremely discriminatory and disadvantageous to women. Over the years, we've been very engaged in trying to get penal code reforms to ensure that abortion is available on demand safely for women, and that women have the choice to make that request. When the penal code reforms were discussed in 1995, a number of women's groups, including us from the Women and Media Collective, asked for reform. And then we asked for abortions conditionally, at least in the case of rape, in the case of incest. There was an amendment that was brought in at that time by the Minister of Justice, Mr. G.L. Pires, but that was withdrawn in the course of the discussions around a range of penal code reforms, particularly in relation to rape. And we were unable to get that back into the process of discussion. Well, certainly, I think ICPD was a critical moment globally. Sri Lanka certainly agreed to the ICPD principles and its plan of action. We agreed again in Beijing, and over the years, looking at the more justiciable mechanisms, the conventions that Sri Lanka has ratified, such as CEDAW, for example, CRC. We've always advocated before the CEDAW committee at the Sri Lanka reviews, whether in the 90s, in the 2000s, and again most recently, I think 2011-12. At the reviews, the Sri Lankan state's standard response has been that certain communities within the country do not accept decriminalization, do not accept the right to terminate pregnancies, accept the right to abortion, a woman's right, and that therefore we have to be a bit more cautious in trying to introduce any reforms to existing penal code provisions, and certainly on the issue of decriminalization. There have been some MPs who we've lobbied who've said on grounds of religious belief or conscientious objection they can't support decriminalization. There have been others who have said we need to look at this as a health issue, and in that context certainly we don't mind decriminalizing. The one place to which we could safely refer women was the Marie Stopes clinics, and I've been to the Marie Stopes clinics many times to talk to women who've accessed their services over the years, certainly in the mid-90s and thereafter. There were a number of women who did not want the third or fourth child, married women who felt for economic reasons they couldn't support another pregnancy, another child. And then when the clinics were arbitrarily shut down, many women would come to us with nowhere to go and we had no means also to refer them to places where abortions could be got safely and could be got without the payment of exorbitant rates. The shutting down of the Marie Stopes clinics, I think, was a huge blow to a number of women who, as I said, came from lower income communities, came from the free trade zone, came from middle class and low middle class and working class backgrounds. I think they were the most affected by the closing down of these clinics.